Kelly Okaina Awa Chang from Mililani, son of Marianne and Levi. I'm back, I'm home, and in my heart I never left. This is beyond incredible. I get to do it right here in Hawaii, where I was born and raised, went to school, have all my friends, my family, this community, this state, and now this brotherhood.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the leader of the Brotherhood, your head coach of the University of Hawaii football team, Timmy Chang. Timmy Chang. Yeah. First off, we want to thank all of you for coming out and helping us celebrate Timmy Chang's homecoming. And before we get started, I'd like to recognize some dignitaries in attendance. First off, the mayor of the city and county of Honolulu, Rick Blangiardi. From the Board of Regents, Regent Simeon Okoba. I'm not sure if Ben Kudo is here, but also a member of the Board of Regents. From the Clarence T.C. Ching Foundation, Jack Sui and Elizabeth Hokada. Thank you very much. The University of Hawaii Manoa Provost, Michael Bruno. And last but not least, the Brotherhood. You guys can clap for yourself. What a glorious Friday, Aloha Friday it is here in Manoa. Thanks for coming out. We have a list of some folks that like to say a couple of words. Then Timmy and I are going to sit on those chairs right there, have a little Q&A session, and it should be a lot of fun. So let's get this party started. I'd like to call up the president of the University of Hawaii, David Lassner.
Mahalo, Scott, and welcome home, Timmy. I just couldn't be happier to be here today, and I thank you all for coming out and joining us for this true celebration and the beginning of our future. I've been around this campus a long time, so when Timmy was playing, I was working on campus, but I didn't really meet him until a couple years ago when you came where you were coaching and played us. And I met Timmy on the field and sort of thought, there's a future maybe. And I couldn't be more thrilled that we have made that future happen starting now. So mahalo again, welcome home. I'm so glad your family's here to celebrate this amazing day with all of us. And go Brotherhood.
Now please welcome Athletics Director David Matlin.
Thanks, Scott. Aloha, and aloha Chang gang. That's awesome. Thank you all for joining us. It's a special day for Rainbow Warrior football. We welcome a coach who started as a student athlete right here on the Manoa campus. He threw 117 touchdown passes. He set a few NCAA records. Enjoyed a legendary career. He's been gone for 17 years, coached against us in the Mountain West Conference, and beat us a few times, and lost a few times. But today he coaches for us. His colors are green and white again. He walks the legacy path, taking humble strides, with opportunity on his mind, with hope and faith in his eyes, and love in his heart, for the people, for the islands, and for the program. He has arrived at the end of the rainbow, and I'm excited to watch him lead our young men, our Rainbow Warriors. Welcome home, Timmy Chang.
Michael Lafayette was a teammate of Timmy, played from 2004, 2007. He has some thoughts. Mike.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Coach Timmy Chang, welcome. I was told to come up and share just on behalf of the alumni, so it's a blessing and honor to be here as a former Warrior. So I want to say thank you guys for having me, and I'll sort of share a story about about Coach Timmy Chang. So I wanted to share the first time I ever met Coach. My first year there, 2003 summer, we were going into the locker room. My teammate Derek Faavi was taking me around, showing me the locker room, and he showed me where my locker was. And I remember I was sitting there and I was curious about who was going to be around me for the next year or two, right? Some of the guys that were on the team. And so I asked, "Hey, whose locker is that?" And Derek was like, "Oh, that's Chad Owens." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And so, "What about this?" I was Gerald Welch. I was like, "Okay, good, another good solid guy." And then, "Well, who sits here?" And he goes, "Oh, it's Leonard Peters." And I was already fired up and pumped up about it. And then I asked, "Well, what about this locker right here?" He goes, "Oh, that's Timmy Chang." And I was like, "Yo, this is awesome. This is awesome. My career is getting started off on the right foot." So I go to the weight room, we work out, I come back, and Derek introduces me to Timmy because he's at his locker. And I remember I went up to him and I said, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he goes, "Hey." So Derek was like, "Hey, this is Mike, a new player on the team." And so I go in to shake his hand, right? It was really weird. I go in to shake his hand, and instead of him giving me his hand back, he gave me his fist. And so I did that awkward thing where it was like, okay, I'm going to shake his hand, but it was actually a fist pump. And so I did the fist pump, and he was like, Mike, we blow it up, Mike. And I was just like, okay, all right, that's pretty cool. All right, let's do that again. And he said, okay, let's do it again. So we blow it up, and then this time we go, Mike, we close it up now, like that. And I was like, okay, all right, Mike, back from the top again. Let's do it again. So, okay, we blow it up and close it up. And he looked at me and said, "Mike, I got your back, man. 100%. Anything you need me, just let me know." And I share that funny story because the first time I ever met Coach Timmy Chang as a teammate, as a brother. All jokes aside, I'm going to say congratulations to you. Timmy Chang is one of those guys that had a lot of swag, right? Just the way he carried himself. He had a lot of confidence on the team, on the field and off the field. And it resonated with a lot of guys here in Hawaii, right? A lot of guys that played here were typically overlooked, by the bigger schools. A lot of guys that wanted to stay home, right? And Timmy Chang kind of embodied that for all of us on that football team. He was a leader on the field. He was a great teammate. But most importantly for me as a new player coming onto the football team, is a great person. And so I just want to say thank you, man. Congratulations. But I also want to say thank you to David Matlin and Lois Manning for welcoming and inviting us, alumni, and some of us are in the stands, to this event. We're super excited about what's going on with the program. A few weeks ago, a handful of alumni, including myself, had a Zoom meeting with David Matlin, Lois, and Vince. And we talked about a lot of different things and what we wanted to accomplish and how we wanted to reestablish the alumni presence back with the program. It was a very positive meeting, a lot of good stuff that we covered. And one of the things that was promising that we talked about was an alumni committee that would work directly with David Matlin, Coach Timmy, and the program to help reestablish the alumni presence back with the program. We talked a lot about helping with fundraising, increasing the alumni and community engagement, marketing campaigns, etc. We're extremely excited, and I know I speak on behalf of the alumni here today and those that can't make it. So I want to say thank you to athletic department, David Matlin, Lois, Vince, and Kimo Kai, some of the guys I've been working with, and the many others that I haven't mentioned. And I'll close with this. Coach Timmy, you, your family, the Chang gang, will be in my prayers daily in this football team. It's something that we love dearly. Yeah, we bleed black and green. Everyone that ever played here, graduated for this school, we're super excited, right? When the news broke, I had nothing but joy in my heart, right? To know that one of our own, right, was coming back home to be the head coach of his alma mater. It feels like we're back. It feels like I'm home again. It feels like I'm about to put my pads on and run out the tunnel. That's what it feels like, you know? So I'm excited. I know I speak on behalf of the alumni. For those that are here and that aren't here, we're excited about the direction that we're heading, and we're excited about this new era of UH football. Thank you.
You better check and see. Maybe he has another year of eligibility. He looks like he can still strap it up. Mike Lafaele. Our next guest speaker is a current member of the University of Hawaii Warrior football team, a wide receiver like Timmy, a graduate of St. Louis schools. Give it up for Jonah Panoke.
Aloha UH students, faculty, alumni, and fans. My name is Jonah Panoke, and I'm currently a third-year wide receiver for the University of Hawaii. Growing up in Hawaii, because we don't have professional sports teams, naturally the athletes that represent the University of Hawaii, especially the local kids, turned into hometown heroes. By playing and representing the state of Hawaii, become household names that the athletes that young children emulate and aspire to be. As both a St. Louis alum and a current Rainbow Warrior, Coach Timmy Chang was naturally one of my all-time favorite athletes and coaches to follow as a young football player, hoping to play at the next level. More than Coach Chang's extensive knowledge of the game and being able to learn from him, I am most excited to be playing for a coach who not only understands but has experienced firsthand what it means to be a young aspiring athlete from the islands who consciously chooses to stay home and represent something so much bigger than just ourselves. To represent Orohana, but to most importantly represent Hawaii. In the midst of searching for a new coach to take the reins of the UH football program and losing several members of our team to the transfer portal, our team has come up with the hashtag Brotherhood, which represents a sign of unity and sense of pride to play and represent the University of Hawaii. Everybody around the world says brotherhood. What we represent is so special and unique that we decided to say Brotherhood. Our culture of the Brotherhood was something that we decided that we're going to carry into the new era of the program. And from the first Zoom with Coach and AD Matlin, Brotherhood was something that Coach Chang immediately embraced with aloha. It is a good feeling to play under a coach who attempts to embrace things that are familiar to our team, especially in the period of time where things are constantly changing. Coach Chang's returned back to Hawaii at the helm of the football program, along with the staff that is being put into place, is something that we are excited about navigating together as a team. Welcome home, Coach. We are honored to have you back home leading the Brotherhood. Thank you.
All right, now the time that you have all been waiting for to hear from the man himself. Please welcome once again your University of Hawaii head football coach, Timmy Chang.
Okay. If that's not Hawaii, I don't know what is. I mean, this is surreal for me. I mean, I see old faces, I see new faces, I see faces from the past, I see faces for the future. I mean, it's unbelievable. I'd like to thank the president, the athletic director, the athletic department. I mean, you guys have been working tirelessly to put this together, and I don't want to let you guys down. My family and I, we traveled here yesterday. To my wife, Sherry. She's amazing. She's amazing. She's the true coach's wife. She'll follow me wherever I go, wherever I do, wherever I plan. I told her when we started this journey as a coach that it wasn't going to be easy, but at least we had each other. We had family, and that's all that mattered. To my kids, I love you guys. Now you get to experience a little bit of what Daddy went through, and you get to live and be a part of the Hawaii culture. Since I've taken this job 6 days ago, we hit the ground running. The biggest thing for me was just to get the players to believe. I thought it was so awesome that they came up with the brotherhood because it meant something. And it wasn't about me. I told them that my days of playing are over. It's about those guys. It's about those guys in that locker room. It's about those guys in that lecture hall. And that's all that matters, guys. If we stick together, we can accomplish anything, man. The coaches that we put together and the staff that we're continuously putting together, I feel best fit the need for us to help develop these young men. We're here to build a program in Hawaii that will sustain. I look at those years from 1999 all the way through to Coach Brennan, and it was fun. It was exciting, and the state was behind us. We're going to need the state. We're going to need the fans. We're going to need the local communities, the local businesses to all be a part of this. We're all one. Those guys will give their hearts out for this state. I'm going to give my heart out for the state. This staff will give their heart for this state. I'm going to make sure that I'm the first one in that building, and I'm the last one leaving to make sure that this thing goes right. That TC Chang field, man, can that be an exciting thing. I watched the games on film, and the different challenges that this university has. As people look at it as challenges, I look at them as opportunities, because I felt the crowds here. I know how it feels when they're throwing confetti, they're banging on the seats, they're rowdy, they're loud. It is tough to play here in Hawaii. In Hawaii, we make it difficult for teams to come in and win. And that's what I want. That's what I want for this program. Lastly, we're going to need everybody's support. The landscape of college football is changing every year in, year out. Since I've been at Nevada for the last 5 years, they've added a signing day. They've added a portal where kids can come and go freely. It's almost like free agency. And they added the NIL deals where kids' name, image, and likeness plays a part. We're going to need everybody's support to help keep our players home. We're going to cast a wide net over the Pacific to help keep these kids home. And if they do go away, we'll invite them openly arms back into our community, into our school and our program. There's so many familiar faces, man. Some of those guys up there, they got eligibility left. I was looking at Danu Baressa. That's how they look, man. But I'm going to give you my all, and let's just see where the chips fall. Thank you, guys.
Timmy, why don't you come over here, have a seat? We'll talk a little bit more. It's been a busy day for you. I got up this morning, I heard you on with Bobby. I turned on the television, you're on TV. Kind of a whirlwind after just getting in last night.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. You know, I told my old coach, Jay Norvell at Nevada, I said, now I know what it feels like to be a head coach. And but I've had some pretty good examples to lean on and look up to, you know. So, but it's been good. I mean, it's going to be a grind, but it's okay.
Yeah, you seem to realize the challenges that are unique to Hawaii and the University of Hawaii. When you got the call last Saturday and you were offered the job, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
I just wanted to talk to the players. You know, they're the bloodline. You know, those guys in there, man. I mean, they don't know me yet. I've recruited some of them, you know, and but I'm gonna give them my all. I'm gonna love them. I'm gonna coach them hard. And my job as a coach and our staff's job is to put those guys in position, you know, put them in position to be successful. And while doing that, you know, they're gonna see and reap the benefits and rewards from it. And it's going to be awesome. I want them to experience what I've went through and what I had here at Hawaii. I want to give them those experiences and some of our teammates and the guys from the past.
You know what's kind of interesting is that I think all of us remember when you were at St. Louis and how well you did. You could have gone to just about any school. You had tons of offers, but you decided to stay home. Why did you decide to stay home, and is that something that you think you could use to try to keep kids home?
You know, in recruiting, as a position coach, as an offensive coordinator, when I go out to sit in families' homes, you know, I really tell them it's a 5, 10, 15-year commitment, 20-year commitment. Because when you commit to a school and a program, when you make a decision to play at a school, and let's be real, it's these scholarships are so coveted. You know, there's so many good players and talent out there in the United States, and even overseas, you know, they're so coveted, but you got to pick the right kids. But in doing so, these kids, they have to pick the right school. And so I really go into a house and I sit down and I tell them, man, you're picking a career decision. And it's just, God willing, man, 22 years later, I'm sitting here as the head coach of my university in the state that I so dearly love.
Has that sunk in, that you're the head coach at UH?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it'll take a little while.
Yes.
I follow you on Twitter, and I see a lot of kids have been offered already since you've taken over. How's the reception been, particularly locally, from athletes when you talk to them?
You know, it's a different time for us. You know, there's different rules. There's different things that change the football landscape, and you got to pay attention to them. You got to understand your rules. And so for us, strategically, you know, like I said, we're going to cast a net over the Pacific Ocean. Anything that's touching the Pacific Ocean, we will be recruiting. And so, you know, again, these scholarships are coveted. There's a lot of great players in the state, you know, in the South Pacific, in the mainland. But we have to make sure we bring in the right guys that fit our brand of football and that are going to fit our culture.
And it's not only the players, it's your staff. I mean, you've put together a staff in a pretty short period of time. I think the thing that a lot of us like about it are the ties to Hawaii. When you were thinking to yourself, all right, I got to put together a staff, what were the one or two things that you absolutely wanted to have from your coaching staff?
You know, I wanted a staff that was relatable. I wanted a staff that's going to develop these young men, most importantly. You know, during this 18 to 20-year-old time, you know, they're building a lot of habits that are going to carry on for the rest of their life. And so, you know, making sure that you put a staff together that embodies that understands it, that can develop them. These guys got dreams, aspirations, and goals, and you want to make sure that you put guys in their path that can teach them and help them get there. And so, these guys are experts at their teachings, and I think they embody what we're trying to do here in our culture and our state.
I know you still have a couple of pukas left in your staff. When do you expect to fill them? Or is there anybody you can announce here this morning to let us know who's joining your staff?
No, we're recruiting a guy right now on another staff, but there's a couple pukas in there, like you said, that we're holding on to make sure that we have the right fit, and I think those things are really important. That again, these jobs are so coveted too, and so there's a lot of outpour of support, and head coaches calling for guys and things like that. So there's no shortage of coaches that will come in here and help develop these young men. It's just about picking the right ones.
I'm sure you're well aware. Everybody was like, who's Timmy going to pick as his OC? What kind of offense are they going to run? Well, yesterday you announced Ian Shoemaker, who was recently with Eastern Washington FCS. They led the country in offense and scoring. Talk a little bit about that hire and how that came about.
Ian's a guy that came to me from a source, and it sounded really interesting to me. It made me think a little bit, because I've been watching Eastern Washington's offense for a number of years now, and they're very highly productive. And so anytime you're one of the best at what you do, you take notice. And I know what I know from football, and my base has been the run and shoot. There's things that I've learned through my journey and my path, but in collaboration with him, I'm pretty excited about, what kind of product we could put out there on TC Chang.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going to have a collaborative offense, a little maybe pistol, some run and shoot, things like that. Have you thought of a nickname? Because if you haven't, I've got a couple for you for the offense. I'll let you decide if you like either one of them, or if you want to make your own later. But number one was, how about the Poi Dog offense? Because a Poi Dog is a mixture of everything, right? And everybody has a Poi Dog in Hawaii that has a little pit bull in it, right? And then the other one is the mixed plate offense. You could throw in a little mac salad if you want with that as well. Do you like either of those?
I like it with extra gravy on the top.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
When you get a chance to breathe after signing day, which is Wednesday, what do you want to do first, just as Timmy Chang back home?
No, continue working. I think there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of people I gotta meet, and a lot of I gotta get filled in. It's not gonna stop for me. You know what I mean? Our first kickoff date against Vanderbilt's gonna come, and it comes quick. Before you know it, the calendar year takes its course, and you stay on track one day at a time, and you're building days, and before you know it, you're into training camp and you're into your deal, and so I'm just going to keep working, keep grinding, it's what the people need, it's what the state needs, it's what the president and our athletic director and athletic department were working so hard for, is for us to get this thing going. And I'm going to work my tail off, and make sure that we got the things that we need, and that these kids, more importantly, they know that they got a guy in their corner that's going to put them in the right position to succeed.
You kind of brought it up, the landscape of college football just in the last couple of years, how much has changed, particularly the two signing days, one in December. The other one is coming up this Wednesday. Obviously, you've gotten a late jump. Do you have a particular number of players you're aiming to sign? What is your plan with that? Of course, you got the transfer portal, so it's not like a drop-dead date like it used to be. Mm-hmm. How are you dealing with that?
Yeah, like you said, I did a number of interviews, and I'm an open book about it, because I know that we probably have the most scholarships in the country at this point. And so I'm going to use that to our advantage. And so, even though the date's here, I would say this, when you look at recruiting at the December date, about 80% of the scholarships are taken at that time. And so that's why it's a rush to get the best players available right now. But with the landscape of how transfer portal, with the COVID year that the kids get a year back, it just kind of backlogged high schools, it backlogged JUCOs. And so, very publicly, we've lost very good key members of this team. And so I want to make sure that with these scholarships, these coveted scholarships, we replace them and be patient and make sure that we get the right guys to fit these roles, And so there's no real number, our staff, since they've been hired and we've been working, and communicating from different parts of where they're at. We're hiring guys away on staff. People are still with their families right now, but I made sure that they're taking care of their families and they got to do what they need to do. But they've been combing the landscape and doing unbelievable things. Jacob Yorl and Abe Eliminian have done an unbelievable job. Cody Cook, they've been doing an unbelievable job of just keeping the ship afloat and just continue sailing. But as we roll on and as our staff comes together, we got our eyes on guys, and guys will continuously, fall out or pop up for us. And again, we're just going to be patient, make sure we got the right guys. And so putting the right pieces together with this unbelievable group that we have now is going to be instrumental for us putting out the best product come Vanderbilt.
You think there's any chance some of the guys that have left could come back?
There's so much good talent, and you watch them. You watch Wisconsin, you got guys. You watch Notre Dame, they got guys from us. You watch UCLA, USC. I mean, there's no doubt Hawaii breeds.
But I'm talking more about the guys that entered into the transfer portal this past year. Is there a chance that maybe a couple of them may be able to come back?
Oh, yeah. I think we got a tagline, Ikomo Mai, don't we, Jake? So, we welcome them all back, and, we're going to build a relationship. We understand, there's opportunities in other places and unbelievable opportunities, but we'll welcome all these kids back, if for whatever reason the experience ain't what it is, they're welcome back here, Again, they got to fit our need, because we have needs and we want to make sure we meet those needs, so, but they're all welcome back.
Timmy, welcome home.
Thank you.
Timmy Chang, everybody. One more time, your head football coach of the University of Hawaii. This concludes our event, except for the media members down below over here on this table. They'll have an opportunity to ask some more questions of the coach. Once again, have a great Aloha Friday. Mahalo. Thank you very much. We'd like the alumni as well to come on down so we can take a picture with Coach Chang. Come on down, guys. The Brotherhood.